Good morning, Facebook, people, YouTube, whatever. So, today is June 5th, 2015, and this is the daily blog. So, yesterday's blog, as y'all seen, was the Ada T-Mobile call center celebration. We had a great time, good food, good people. Got to meet some of the top dogs in the T-Mobile brand. Talking to those guys just makes you really proud to work for the company you work for. You know, they really stand behind their message and what they try to condone throughout the company, and they're stand-up guys. So today's blog, which was going to be yesterday's blog, but because of the celebration at work, I decided to change that. A lot of people have asked for me to, you know, talk about how me and my wife got together. Primarily, I think, because I'm a hard one to love, and she's such a wonderful person, and they don't understand how someone like myself got lucky enough to get someone like Shallon, which I can understand because I'm lucky, real lucky. It's kind of a long story. It's kind of a fairy tale. Go figure. Interesting life I live. So, I met Shallon when I was 17 years old through a mutual friend. Our mutual friend lived outside of city limits, so that's where I would go to conduct business. We're just gonna leave it at that. So one night, I went out there to conduct business, and there were these other girls there. Unbeknown to me was Shallon and her sisters. Once again, I was there just for business. I was there to get in, do what I needed to do, and get out. But they took it upon themselves to introduce themselves to me. So hurry up, shook hands, hi, I'm LaFleur, nice to meet you, I gotta go. This mutual friend of mine, because she lived out of town, was kind of like a safe haven for me. So when anything went down in my life, I just went to her place and stayed for a day or two. Sometimes it was weeks. So obviously stuff went down in my life, and I went out to her house. Well, Shallon and her sisters were actually living there for a little while. So staying there, I got to know Shallon. Shallon was innocent, so naive to the world around her at that time in her life. It was something I had never seen before. Honesty. She was honest in every way. And true to it. Not just honest because she was trying to impress people. That was her demeanor. She was an honest, innocent girl. I'd never seen this before in my life. So clearly I was fascinated. To say the least, fascinated. So eventually Shallon she moved back to Purcell. So we became friends, you know. I was kind of a jerk, but she didn't judge me for how I was living, things I did, the way I dressed, people I ran with. She didn't judge me for none of that. Which is also the first time that's ever happened. Anyway, she moved back to Purcell, so me and Shallon would write letters back and forth to each other because, you know, I had a life in Ada, I already had a kid, you know, craziness. But like I said, we were just friends at this time, so we would write letters back and forth literally every day. I would receive a letter and write a letter every day almost. Well, this went on for years. Eventually, I got married. Not to the woman that I had children with, but to another woman out of spite. And I felt like because Shallon was my friend, for some reason, that I needed to drive down there, introduce her to my future wife, and let her know I was getting married. So I did that. That lasted a year, literally a year. Me and my ex-wife split up. Guys, it was a marriage out of spite. I think it was on both ends of the spectrum. It wasn't just me, it was her too, whatever. You know, it didn't work out. We're still friends today, whatever. Anyways, I'd gone down to Purcell to tell Shallon I'd been divorced and everything. I'd got back with my kids' mama and all this stuff. But when I got there, her sisters told me that she had moved to Texas and was getting married. So at that point, I thought, okay, I'm not going to interfere with her life. Clearly she's got her own life now, and because of the way I lived and the things that I were doing, I didn't want to get involved in that. I mean, because like I said, Shallon was a myth to me. She was a fairy tale. Like, why she remained friends with me is beyond me. Still this day, I don't know. I mean, she was just that accepting and that caring. But 5 years went by and I didn't hear from Shallon. I didn't talk to Shallon, no letters, no phone calls. Her phone number back in the day was 405-527-2308. That was her phone number. I still remember it to this day. I dialed it so many times. And I didn't hear from her. Figured she'd gone on, got married, probably had kids, you know, started her life on her own. So I let it be. I went back to my ex, I had a kid, we split up finally, 8 years of hell. I was damaged goods at this point. I mean, I was in a bad way. One day, I'm sitting at my shop, and a pickup truck pulls in, and Shallon steps out of the truck. At this point, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say to the girl. Like, you know, essentially the girl of my dreams, the most innocent person I've ever met, the most honest person I've ever met, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, steps out of the truck. So, the truck's got a broke windshield, you know, so, you know, because I panicked and I didn't know what to say, I just said what I say to everybody that walks in the shop. How are you doing today? Can I help you? And she just looked at me and she smiled. And she said, do you remember me? And I can't explain to you the feeling that I had when she said that. She wasn't there for a windshield. Shallon didn't know I was divorced. She didn't know anything about what's going on in my life, hence the 5 years of no communication. So I asked her how she found me, and she said that her sister seen my truck, and on the back window of my truck it had the name of my business, The Glass Man, or Auto Glass Tech, and a phone number. Well, they looked it up in the phone book and found the address, and that's how she found me. So Star, props to you, man. Props to you. Thank you so very much. That would have never happened if it wasn't for you. Thank you. But anyway, Shallon, you know, came to tell me she was getting married, which was what I thought she'd already done, but it didn't happen apparently. Apparently she went to Texas, moved back the next day, and I just missed her by a day. So that caused 5 years of no communication. My luck. So Shallon's like wanting to catch up and everything, so I'm like, cool, mind you, we are just friends. I told her, sure, you know, let me give you my address. And this is kind of funny. Shallon, after work, I got off at 5. She tries to find me. She's going to college here in town. She's on the east side of town, and I lived on the west side of town. She kept saying, I can't find west. I told her, keep heading west. She's like, I am, but it keeps saying the numbers start over. Well, you know, that means you've officially entered the west side of town. She didn't know that, so kind of funny. We still kind of mess with her about that. Anyway, she comes over. I'm dirty from working and everything, so I let her in the house and tell her, hey, I'm gonna go jump in the shower, I'll be back. Now, I had a roommate at this time, Baxter. Bax is what we call him, Chris, my brother. Shout out to Chris. He comes home while I'm in the shower and sees this beautiful woman sitting on the couch. Chris don't know who she is. I've known Chris since I was 2 years old. Me and Chris went on hiatus for a while too, but anyway, he comes in, he sits down, looks at her, he's like, hey, who are you? And she's like, hey, I'm Shallon, I'm Josh's friend. And he's like, Josh's friend? How you know Josh? She's like, well, I've known Josh for years. And he was like, no, I've known Josh since I was 2 years old, and he's never said your name, so how are you Josh's friend? And she was like, I don't know, whatever. Now, I'm in the shower, so I don't know what's conversation going on. Well, Chris is like, plays 20 questions. Do you do this? Do you drink? Do you do this? Do you do that? And Shallon's like, no, because she's an innocent chick. And then the fact, and this blew his mind that she said she didn't do any of this stuff. So he's like, how are you? You don't do none of this, and you're Josh's friend. It just doesn't make sense to Chris. He can't get it through his head. Doesn't make sense. Of course, he comes busting in the bathroom like, who's this chick? I'm in the shower. He's like, who's this chick on the couch? I'm like, Chris, please, dude, don't like start, you know, too late. He already did. I didn't know that. Well, Shallon sat there for a little while, started getting dark. She said, what time does your wife get home? And me and Chris just kind of laughed. I mean, you know, because it was funny. You he's like, look around you. Does this look like a woman lives at this house? This is a bachelor pad. Guys, we didn't even have furniture. Like, we had a little bitty TV with a PlayStation and like some egg crates sitting on. I think we had a couch at the time or something. Chris was sleeping on an egg crate mattress on the floor. I had a bed in the back, barely. So, you know, we're bachelors. So we explained to her that I was divorced. Well, at this point, she panicked because remember, she's getting married. And she's like, I can't be here, you know. I mean, it looks bad, you know. And I agreed, you know. I'm like, okay, I understand. Don't want to interfere with what you have going on in your life. She kept coming back. Here's the thing about Shallon. Always had feelings for Shallon. Try to hide them. But how could you not have feelings with someone that was so loving and so caring and so genuine as that person right there? How could you not? How could I not? I'd never seen it before in my life. I can't explain it. There's no words for that feeling, for that emotion. So she kept coming back. Over time, we began to have a different kind of relationship. Now, my friends were very skeptical about this. Now, they had gone through hell and back with me through the previous relationship. Guys, I was crushed after the previous relationship. I was ruined. I wasn't the same person as I was all the years before the ending of that relationship. Those guys stood beside me through all of it. They went through the same pain that I did. They felt my pain. They supported me. It was a long, drawn-out deal, and it was hard for everybody involved, including my friends. So Pud, my brother, you know, he was like, don't do it, LaFleur. Don't do it, man. She's got a man in her life. Don't do it, dude. He didn't want to see me get my heart broke. We're very protective over each other. And Pud was just adamant about me not getting my heart broke. He didn't want to go through it again with me. I didn't want to go through it again, but he didn't want to see me go through it again. So he was very cautious on Shallon. Luckily, he was wrong. As time went on, Shallon wound up pregnant. I found out that her old man was doing things he shouldn't have been doing, which she knew too. And me being the protector that I am and living the lifestyle that I've lived, well, she's safe with me. He ain't finna do none of that when I'm around. It would be a very bad deal. I'm talking kicking in doors, the real deal, okay? I mean, me and my guys, we ain't gonna tolerate that. My brothers, no, you know. It's just not happening. Well, when she got pregnant, she came to me and we decided we're gonna raise the child. At that point, I moved Shallon in. And we had Jocelyn. It's our first child together, first daughter. A beautiful little girl was brought into this world. The rest is history, guys. It was by chance that me and Shallon got together. Even after we got together, life wasn't easy for me. I was still damaged. I was still dealing with things. And she stood beside me through the entire process. She backed me up, held me up. When I couldn't stand, she stood for me. This is the type of woman that I'm married to. Very strong, very kind, very forgiving. I wasn't always a great guy. She put up with the guy that wasn't so great. She puts up with me now, and I'm still not I'm not a bad guy, but I'm not the best guy in the world. I mean, but she puts up with my crazy antics and my mood swings and my rage and sometimes, and she's very patient, very loving, very kind. And I can't say enough about her. I mean, she came to me, she went from no kids to 5 kids overnight. Technically 6 if you count me in that, which she does. But I'm very fortunate to have a woman like that in my life. I'm very lucky to have someone to care about me that much in my life. Shallon went through hell and back with me, guys. It wasn't easy in the beginning. It's been 10 years and running at this point. It was not an easy thing for her to do. There was a lot that she put up with it. I don't think anybody else would have put up. I wouldn't have put up with it. But she did. And she did it because she loves me. That's unconditional love. That's really what it is. And I'm a lucky man to say that I have experienced it. The fact that she is still with me today mystifies me. I mean, that woman is up on a pedestal, guys, and I'm not. I'm down here. She's up there. She could do so much better. But that woman truly and genuinely loves me. I'm a lucky man to have that. So, that's my story. That's my fairy tale story of me and Shallon. It was by chance that, you know, she came and found me, and thank goodness feelings prevail. At the end of the day, I get to go home to her, and every morning I get to wake up to her. Every night she's next to me. Through struggle, through triumph, through everything, she'll stand beside me. And I have no doubt in that. So, there's the story, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out there.